presentation is on the law of demand. The context of the presentation goes like this. The introduction to the law of demand, assumptions and factors affecting the law of demand, determinant of demands, types of demand, price elasticity of demand, demand schedule and demand curve, applications of the law of demand, and conclusion. Introduction to the law of demand. It states that according to this law, as the price of good or service increases, the quantity demanded decreases and vice versa. This shows the functional relationship of demand, that it is the inverse relationship between the price of commodity and its quantity demanded. The demand is also a function of price, and it is expressed in terms of D is equal to F into P, where D explains the demand, P is the price, and F is the functional relationship. Extension and contraction of demand. So the extension and contraction of demand is the movement along the demand curve. So this is the demand curve, where the x-axis represents the demand and y-axis represents the price. So the prices are P1, P, and P2, and the demands are from D to D dash, and the A, B, C represents the point of demands at particular price P are P1, P, and P2. So at the price P1, the demand is C, which means the demand at a very low price, the demand is at very high. As the price keeps on increases, the demand keeps on decreasing. At the highest price of P2, the demand is very much less. So the A to B distance represents the AB contraction of demand, which means the demand is very much low. And the B to C distance represents a very much high demand, which is the extension of demand. As the price is less, the demand is more. So as a result of whole, D and D dash is the demand curve, and the conclusion we can say that price is indirectly proportional to the demand. So the next comes the shifts in demand curve. The shifts in demand curve is not only due to the price, but with other factors too. So this is the shift of demand curve. So the x-axis represents the quantity demanded in units, and y-axis represents the price in rupees. So D is the demand curve. If the demand curve shifts forward, then the demand D that becomes the D1, and that is a demand increase in demand. If the demand D moves backward at the price, then the demand is D2, which explains that the demand is very much less. The determinants of demand are income effect, substitution effect, new consumers, multiple use of commodities, complementary effect, change in government policy, advertisement effects, change in taste preferences, climatic conditions, future price expectations. The income effect is like the person's or individual's income, where he has the ability to buy a luxury item or a moderate item. That explains the determinant of demand. And the substitution effect is like, if you go to a market and if you didn't find the particular chips packet that you desire, you take the other one. So that explains the substitution effect. And the new consumers is like a product is when a product is launched new in a market, and the people are gets more attracted to that particular product. So the next comes the multiple use of commodities. For example, take an example of a milk. A milk can be used as a food item, like in various example, like for making curd or ghee or butter or paneer. It is used in various items for making. It is a multiple use of commodity. So the demand for milk is very much needed, and that determines the demand. And the complementary effect is like a product which is attached with the other product. So you cannot buy a product without that. So for example, okay, taking a makeup item or any other food items, and also like the plastic and plastic items, like buy one get one offer. So there comes the complementary effect. Change in government policy. For example, during the COVID time, sanitizers are most demanded. So that is a government policy to use sanitizers. So that is very important. So in that way, the sanitizers demand is very much high due to the government policy. Advertisement effort is like celebrity doing advertisement for a particular product. So because of that, the demand for the particular product, and people tend to buy that product because of the celebrity. So that way, that is the determinant of the demand. And next comes the change in taste preferences. So if a taste is very much bad for a product, then the demand is low. If it is very much good, then the demand is high. That explains the change in taste preferences. Climatic preferences conditions is like in the summer vacations, summer conditions, people go more towards the chill items, the cold items like milkshakes, ice creams, juices, etc. So in that way, the goods and services of that particular products will demand will increase. And future price expectations is like, for example, if there is any pandemic or any situation that people comes to know that a particular product won't be available and that is necessary for a particular month, then if that is not available for next consecutive 2 weeks, and in the market, people will try to buy that before itself. So before that getting vacant. So in that way, the future price expectation, seeing that people in that way, the demand will increase for the particular product. Then comes the demand schedule and demand curve. The demand schedule is nothing but the tabular representation showing the different quantities of commodity at different prices. For example, taking an example of this, the price and the number of apples. This is a demand for apples, and the price is 5. The number of apples is 30. If the price keeps on increasing, the number of apples is very much less, keeps on decreasing. This shows the inverse relationship of the particular demand and price. And this is the graph explaining that as the price increases, the demand will decrease. The types of demand schedule are, so scheduling that, and that is the two types, that is individual demand schedule and market demand schedule. Factors affecting the law of demand. So the law of demand also includes income, taste and preferences, availability of substitutes, and expectations about future prices. For example, if a consumer's income increases, they may be willing to buy a more luxury item. Or similarly, if a new substitute product becomes available, consumers may switch to a cheaper option rather going for the more costlier option. So that is the factors affecting the law of demand. So it says that there are several factors that can affect how much consumer is willing to pay for a particular product. And then coming to the assumptions of law of demand. The income, it says there are 3 assumptions that states that the money income of a consumer should remain same. There should be no change in scale of preference of a customer. There should be no expectations of price changes in a commodity in near future. So these are the assumptions that is from the law of demand. Then comes the price elasticity of demand. This the price elasticity explains that a small change in price leads to a large change in quantity demanded. So then that is said to be a product is said to be an elastic. If in seeing the other way, if a large change in price leads to a small change in quantity demanded, then the product is said to be inelastic. So this understanding of price elasticity is very important for the businessmen, businesses and the policymakers, for the governments, and which can help to predict how consumers will react to changes in price, or whether or particular tax or subsidy will have to be tended effect on the behavior. The types then comes the types of demand. Demands are like the domestic and industrial demands. Domestic is like household demands, etc. That is like washing machine or whatever, other kitchen appliances and home appliances. And industrial demands is like industries are using many much machines and manufacturers, right? So in that way, the industrial demands is very much vast. Perishable and durable good demands. Perishable, this explains that the time expectancy of a particular product. So if the time expectancy is very much high, then that is very durable good services. And if that is a perishable, then it is the time expectancy is very much less. New and replacement demand. So if a person, an individual buys a new product, then that is a new demand. If the product he or she has bought and that is replaceable, then that is a replacement demand. And then comes the other two types of demand: final and intermediate demands, and individual and market demands. Individual demands is like a particular individual is wanting to buy or needs any necessary of a particular product. Market demands is like a person as a whole, a market itself demand for a particular goods or services, then that comes to, and that comes the market demand. The applications of demand are very much vast. That is, it has a many much practical applications in the business world. So government also uses this law of demand to design policies that affect consumer behavior, such as taxes and subsidies. So by understanding how consumers will react to changes in price, policymakers can design and price policymakers can also design policies to achieve particular goals, and such as reducing consumption of unhealthy products or promoting the use of renewable energy resources. And then coming to the conclusion of the topic on law of demand. So it is a very much powerful tool for understanding consumers' behavior and predicting the market outcomes. So it's very much useful for the law of demand is used by governments, businesses, and policymakers around the entire whole world. So by understanding the law of demand, it states that we can gain insight into why consumers can make choices they do, why consumers make choices and that they want, and how those choices affects the economy as a whole. Thank you.